is Shuttle Launch Control at T-minus 5 hours and counting. We are now about 6 hours and 20 minutes away from the launch of Mission 51A, the second flight of Orbiter Discovery, and the 14th launch of the Space Shuttle. The countdown has been progressing smoothly through the night. At the present time, the launch team is filling the massive external tank with its flight load of 1/2 million gallons of super-cold liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen propellants. Also in progress at this time is the pre-flight alignment of the inertial measurement units in the orbiter and of the MILA primary antenna. The weather situation has improved over the last 24 hours significantly. We expect no further problems from upper altitude winds. As mentioned earlier, we have no outstanding technical problems at this point that would threaten our liftoff at 7:15 a.m. this morning. At T-minus 4 hours, 58 minutes, and 30 seconds and counting, this is Shuttle Launch Control.
CGSS. Okay, let's get on this list. Verify ready to resume the count and go for launch. Orbiter? Orbiter ready. Booster? Booster ready. Tank? Go. Cargo? Cargo, go. LPS? Go. Flight?
Flights go.
MILA? MILA's go. STM? STM's go. Safety? Safety's go. CDR? CDR's go.
This is Shuttle Launch Control at T-minus 9 minutes and holding. The test director has gone through a check of all of the major managers for this morning's launch and gotten a go, except in the case of the integration council people, and the launch director said that he would wait until that was given. There was an estimate that it would be 3 minutes before they would be ready, and we're expecting to hear momentarily.
9:30 are complete, 9:27 is a non-perform.
The hold should be released at approximately 7:06, with 9 minutes remaining to make the 7:15 liftoff time. This 14th flight of the Space Shuttle and second flight of Discovery is one of the most exciting in a long string of exciting trips into space. The delivery of 2 new satellites to orbit will be following the successful delivery of many others. However, the capability of the shuttle will enter a new dimension in the retrieval of 2 satellites and return of them to Earth for refurbishment and launch once again.
NPD, you can proceed with transmission of the SPCs.
Wilco. Roger, copy.
PLT, set the AC bus sensors to monitor.
T-minus 8 minutes and counting.
CDR, countdown.
The launch events are now being controlled by the ground launch sequencer from now up till T-minus 25 seconds when they switch to the onboard redundant set launch sequencer. T-minus 7 minutes, 30 seconds, and the crew access arm is retracting. This is the walkway which is used by the astronauts to get from the service structure to the orbiter. If an emergency should arise, the arm can be put back into position within 15 seconds.
APU pre-start is complete.
T-minus 5 minutes, 30 seconds and counting. Walker reporting that the APUs, or auxiliary power units, are now configured for startup.
Orbiter APU start. PLT.
We have a go for orbiter APU start.
PLT. CDR.
T-minus 4 minutes, 50 seconds and counting. The APUs provide hydraulic power to move the aero surfaces and the main engines for steering. The liquid oxygen fill and drain valve in the external tank has been closed, and liquid oxygen drain bank has been started. This means that the liquid oxygen is flowing through the main propulsion system and back to the large storage tank to cool the system down slowly to 270 degrees below zero, so that it will not be shocked by the torrent of super cold fluid at the time of engine ignition.
Flight crew, close visors. Roger, we're closing visors.
T-minus 4 minutes and counting. The Elevon speed brakes and rudders are now being moved through a pre-programmed pattern to ensure that they're capable of doing their jobs during the flight. T-minus 3 minutes, 28 seconds. and the shuttle now on internal power. Profile check now of the aero surfaces are complete, and the engine gimbal or movement check of the main engines is underway to ensure they're ready to control the flight. T-minus 3 minutes and counting. The liquid oxygen valve for filling the external tank is closed now, and pressurization has begun. After the tank is pressurized, the hold capability is limited to 3 minutes and 36 seconds.
Clear the caution and warning memory and verify no unexpected errors. And if it's good, you're clearing.
And the pilot, David Walker, has cleared the caution and memory warning. Everything satisfactory for launch. T-minus 2 minutes, 15 seconds, and the main engines have moved to start position, and the beanie cap, or the gaseous oxygen vent arm, has been retracted now and is moving off to its position for launch. T-minus 2 minutes and counting. Liquid oxygen vent valve has been closed, and flight pressurization is underway. T-minus 1 minute, 45 seconds. The computer will automatically verify the readiness of the main engines at the T-minus 1 minute point. 90 seconds before launch, the hydrogen igniters under the orbiter's engines have been armed. These devices are used to ensure that any hydrogen flowing through the engines does not accumulate. Just 15 seconds away from switching command of the countdown from the ground computers to the onboard computers.
Minus 30 seconds.
T-minus 31 seconds, and we're switching control of the countdown to the onboard computers. T-minus 25 seconds. Sequencer is now controlling the final second. T-minus 20 seconds, Mark. T-minus 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. We're go for main engine start. 7, 6. We have main engine start. 3, 2, 1, and liftoff. Liftoff of Discovery, and the first flight to retrieve and return satellites from space, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
Tower clear. The vehicle now turning around to the proper azimuth to go down track on this flight. Current height, 0.6 of a mile. All APUs running at normal speed. Main engines all running at normal pressures.
.45 seconds. Downrange distance 2 nautical miles. Altitude 3.9 nautical miles. Velocity 2,200 feet per second. 3 engines at 67%. Passing through the period of maximum aerodynamic pressure. Beginning throttle up back to 104%, the nominal throttle setting for this mission. Engines at 104%.
Discovery Houston, your go at throttle up.
Roger, go.
Discovery's crew given a go at throttle up. Velocity 3,400 feet per second. Altitude 12 nautical miles. Downrange distance 8 nautical miles. One minute, 45 seconds. Velocity 4,500 feet per second. Altitude 18 nautical miles. Downrange distance 16 nautical miles. Coming up on SRB separation in about 15 seconds. Thrust tailing off in SRB, standing by for separation. Separation confirmed. Nominal first stage performance.
Houston, first stage performance nominal.
Okay, nominal.
2 minutes, 30 seconds. Velocity 5,600 feet per second. Altitude 33 nautical miles. Downrange distance 41 nautical miles. Standing by for 2-engine transatlantic capability.
Discovery Houston with you through Yargity for 8 minutes.
Flat and clear, Dick. We had a good almost 2. We're right on the checklist.
Okay, that's good news. And Discovery Houston, your go for orbit ops.
Well, the space shuttle is part airplane and part spacecraft, a very small volume of which is habitable. You can think of it as a space truck. There are really 2 levels to the shuttle living area. The top level is the flight deck, where we control the spacecraft from. That's where the windows are, where we can look outside. As we float down into the middeck, we find a place where generally we sleep, store our equipment, have most of our meals, where our toilet facilities are, storage facilities. And also that's where our airlock is that allows us to go out into the payload bay after putting on our spacesuits. The airlock provides an intermediate step between our normal atmosphere in the space shuttle and the vacuum of space. It allows us an area to go into, put the spacesuits on, and then close the door that separates the airlock from the rest of our shuttle atmosphere. And then the atmosphere in the airlock can be dropped to vacuum. And then we can open the second hatch and go out into the payload bay. So it's an interlock or airlock, just as there is an airlock in a submarine. When we don't use it for that, it provides an area for people to sleep in, or if we have a lot of our equipment out during the time that we're on orbit, we might store some of it temporarily in there. The flight deck has the flight control system where the pilot and the commander can look outside, control the spacecraft either from the front of the flight deck during launch and re-entry, or from the back of the flight deck. We have another set of controls where the commander or pilot looking out the back windows or the top windows as we were flying up close to a satellite, control the spacecraft from that position. So you can think of the flight deck as the control station where most of the controls are for the systems that run the orbiter.
Well, the first interesting thing that might not be apparent about becoming weightless is that it happens in an instant. I mean, just like that. You're going through ascent, which, you know, depending on what mission you're on and what inclination you're going to, but usually the 3 main engines cut off at about 8 minutes and 35 seconds. And just prior to that, you're experiencing 3 times the force of gravity. And in that instant, when those engines shut off, you are instantaneously weightless. And all of a sudden, from being pushed back in your seat, you're floating against the straps. You can almost feel the shift of fluids from your extremities where they've been pooling in a 1G environment to shifting upward, and you can feel a fullness in the face. Some people describe a falling, hanging in your straps type of feeling, which I think is a fairly accurate description. But the thing I remember most is feeling clumsy, and I remember not wanting to unstrap because I wasn't sure how to work, what to do with my checklist, where to let my feet go. So that feeling lasted, really the first day was a day of learning. The most simple thing that you take for granted here, eating, going to the bathroom, figuring out how to go from this point to that point. Everything was new, and you had to learn how to do everything.
Discovery Houston, back up through Tidris, and we're updating the orbiter state vector.
Well, as you might have noticed, we have the airlock hatch open, and Dale's already gone in there, and everything looks ship-shape. Houston, Discovery.
Go ahead.
We've deployed the KU-band antenna, and it looks good. We're going to KU-band activation at this time.
Mission Control, 1 hour, 50 minutes into the flight. Crew is getting set up for routine orbit operations. Payload bay doors are open. The sun shield over the Telsat Annex satellite has been closed. The heaters are on, and that looks good. Status check has been performed on the CENTCOM satellite, and it looks good also. Crew was given a go to operate on the Vernier RCS jets, part of the reaction control system that provides more of a fine-tuning control to the shuttle's attitude rather than the large jets. And they were given a go to turn off the high-load flash evaporator system, part of the cooling system which supplements the regular orbiter cooling. It handles the heavy loads of cooling during the ascent phase. Now that the doors are open, the radiators deployed, that system is no longer required, and the radiators are handling the load of cooling.
Okay, Houston, we're into the RMS power down procedure now, and we'll do that except we'll leave the arm deployed.
So the Discovery is now successfully in orbit and set up for routine operations. This is Mission Control, Houston.
At Houston Discovery, on the elbow camera, we have a view of the port wing of the orbiter looking back towards the Caribbean, and we were wondering if that elevon position has anything to do with our entry forward CG high elevon DTO. That looks rather extreme, but I'm sure that everybody knows what they're doing.
Roger, I'm sure.
And of course, Sam, just pulling your leg on that. These elevons do float into various positions under, I believe, the hydraulic thermal conditioning, depending upon which circ pumps are on and so on. And right now, the port outboard is full up, the port inboard is full down, and the starboard inboard and outboard are about 3/4 up.
Roger, GNC just gave me a thumbs up saying your analysis is correct.
Okay. Oh my gosh. There goes one of those famous mint candies that Miss Rita provides us with. Ron, as you can see, it's going very smoothly for us. We have no anomalies with regard to the deploy, and we're coming up on about 45 minutes from satellite deploy. It's a fairly relaxed timeline for us right now because we don't have any problems that we're working.
Copy, Joe. I know what you mean.
Well, Houston, we see ourselves coming up over the coast of South America.
Roger that. We got a good view of that on the payload bay camera.
Mission Control, Houston, the guidance navigation officer confirms we're in deploy attitude now for depositing the Telesat satellite in space. At a mission elapsed time of 1 day, 8 hours, 35 minutes, mechanical sequence will begin to open the sun shields, followed shortly thereafter by the spin table itself, beginning a steady spin up to around 50 RPMs. Once that's stabilized, that'll be followed by the release of some latches, and the satellite will be spring-loaded out into space.
Houston, for the checklist, we'll be taking KU band away from you here in about a minute and a half.
KU band has been put in standby per the checklist. That's one of the payload constraints that is done to keep the satellite healthy, so it's not harmed in any way by passage of a KU band through its electronic systems. Orbiter will move off about 15 minutes thereafter, after it fires its left dome's engine, and 45 minutes from the point of deployment, the Telesat satellite will fire its perigee kick motor and head up into geosynchronous altitudes.
Discovery Houston, the orbiter and Anik are looking good for deploy.
Roger that, Ron. We concur. Okay, we've got good news. The deploy went without any problems at all, on time, and when you're ready to copy the numbers, I'll read them down to you.
Okay, Joe, that's real good news, and we're ready for the numbers.
Okay, Ron, here we go. Roll 329er, decimal 55. Pitch 274.67. Yaw 332.78. And the rates were minus decimal 001, minus decimal 001, and plus decimal 001. And we have an empty pallet here. UHF Mila in about 4.5 minutes.
Roger, Ron. See you there.
Hello, Houston, Discovery. How do you read us, Dave?
Loud and clear, and we've got you live in cabin TV now.
Okay, David. We're reviewing the TV tapes of yesterday, and we're going to start downlinking you some. If you've seen them already, tell us, and we'll go on to another selection.
The PTM burn, as you're going to see, is going to look a little different than the PAM ones we've shown you in the past on other flights. Because of the position of the satellite, we're initially looking down against the Earth, and we're on the dark side of the Earth, so what we're seeing is the Earth glow in moonlight. Right in the center of the frame, then you'll see the ignition of the PTM and the SYNCOM. Clearly, you'll be able to detect the acceleration because you'll see the SYNCOM move up past the Earth's horizon. Okay, now when it comes up to the horizon, you'll see another interesting thing that we've noticed in the flight, and that is that on the dark side in moonlight, you see a haze layer, a glow above the Earth's horizon. There you can see it now, a thin line that appears to be, what we'd guess 40 or 50 miles above the Earth. Okay, the SYNCOM is passing through the horizon now, and now it's passing through that thin haze layer.
By about the second day, we were quickly adapting and learning to work with weightlessness. And by day 4, I think all of us felt very, very comfortable in a weightless environment. People who had flown previously, their adaptation to zero-G was a lot faster than the new people. You sort of know what to expect. You don't have to go through that real initial steep learning curve because somewhere your brain has already learned a lot of things.
About the only serious exercise that you can do in the cabin the way ours was configured is to get on this treadmill that we carry along. It's pretty cleverly built to be compact when you're not using it, but to open up to where you can use it easily when you want to, and it stays nailed down to the mid-deck floor with fasteners. We left it set up most of the time so that when someone had some free time, they could go down there and do a 20-minute workout. And what you do is to stand on it and attach some elastic bungees to your waist and shoulders. It offers a certain amount of resistance due to adjustable friction on the belt itself that you run on, and that gives you a force to work against, and therefore you get some exercise. Over a week, which is about the duration most of us go up, you don't need a lot of exercise to keep you from suffering atrophy of the muscles or any sort of physiological damage. But it makes you feel good to get a workout.
And this is Mission Control. The flight dynamics people, the trajectory people, and the crew on board all very busily computing the fine-tuning details of this final approach to Palapa.
The mission we set out upon wound up being a rather complex mission. In fact, quite a complex and demanding mission, to the point where the success of the mission ultimately depended upon our being able to work very closely as a crew. It reminded me of being on a very able athletic team like a basketball team, where each member knows pretty much what the other members are doing at that time, although no words are exchanged. And we really did work very much like that.
This is Mission Control, Discovery passing out over the central portion of the African continent. On orbit 31, we're getting some unscheduled television down from the spacecraft this morning. We're looking at the Stinger, the apparatus in the shuttle cargo bay that will be used in a couple of days in the retrieval of the Palapa and West Star. You can see both Stingers there on the pallets that were set up specially to handle the satellite equipment. On the right-hand side, the Stinger apparatus, the left side, the mounting bracket to which the aft end of the Hughes 376 satellites will be clamped down into the cargo bay.
This picture shows Bruce McCandless backed into the MMU, positioning the fiber optic alarm lights, caution and warning lights. They'll be in his field of view. As the control arms extended and is now freed. Okay, let's putting the MMU through checkout procedures, verifying the thruster firing, the gyro power.
Hey, great.
We will now move up to a position facing the aft crew station windows and put the MMU through a 3-axis rotation exercise.
You look real stable out there. When you get ready for the checkout flight, Bruce, remember you start out first in the prime mode stuff.
Yeah, I am in prime mode. Okay, here's a plus roll. Oh, plus yaw. Yaw. Pitch. Pitch. And I give you a little bit of everything and stop it with attitude hold. Comes attitude hold. Okay, shutting V system off. How long till sunrise?
You have about 8 minutes of darkness yet, Bruce. Maybe you want to fly up and down a bit.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Let me drive on back to the standing of the PAMs and see what they look like.
Bruce McCandless in the first actual flight test of the manned maneuvering unit. Bruce McCandless preparing to make his 150-foot sojourn, moving away from the orbiter out to a distance of 150 feet and then returning. And then following that, about 10 minutes later, he will go out to a distance of 300 feet. MMU has 24 nitrogen-powered thrusters.
And Bob, we're not going to pay much attention to you for a little while here while we watch Bruce go out and back.
Here's a different perspective on the orbiter.
And Bruce, did you turn the TV on?
Yes, sir. In order.
The crew aboard the Challenger using the KU band antenna in the radar mode to track McCandless as he goes out from the orbiter on the MMU and returns. McCandless at a distance of about 80 feet.
The TV Ranger yet?
Not yet.
He'll be going about twice that far out on this exercise.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Gratifying that it's working out.
McCandless and his manned maneuvering unit constitute a separate spacecraft of their own now.
Okay, 145 feet, Bruce, at, well, a little noisy, around 0.3 yet.
Okay, why don't I try to come to a stop here?
Yeah, matter of fact, you just hit 150 feet, so you probably better stop.
Yeah, I should be just about stopped now.
We're seeing about 0.2.
0.2, okay. Is this African coming over?
Sure is.
Boy, it's beautiful down there. And I'll come on back in.
Great. Houston, Challenger.
Go ahead, Challenger.
We lost a foot restraint. It's starting to float out. We can go get it if you wish.
Oh, yeah, why don't you?
Roger, we see it. How much gas does Bob have?
You want me to go get it or you want
Stand by.
I'm going to go get it.
Chris, can you give us a status on that foot restraint down there on the CISA? Did it break off or did it just come out? What happened?
Looked like it pulled right out. I was going down to work on the secondary T-pad, having completed the primary on the control box, and just flew off.
Roger, copy that. It was my recollection that we had a tether on that foot restraint.
We took it off, Jerry. Here's my tether, Vance. You're going to have to put in some -X.
I'm not completely out of the MMU yet, so I can come get it.
I'll just put in a little more -X, Vance. Beautiful job.
At least it won't be re-entering in a few days.
I hope it'll be re-entering in a few days. The rest of us are planning to.
It won't be re-entering separately.
There you go.
You don't fly on a flight with Dr. Joe Allen, who's a physicist, without assisting him in his studies of globule dynamics. Joe Allen is well known for playing with globules of fluid of every type, orange juice, orange mango juice, chocolate, coffee, you name it, water. You'll probably find footage of every one of us assisting him in his experiments, and I have to say that his enthusiasm is contagious.
A simple way of thinking about every single object in the spaceship, including yourself, is that there is an absence of forces on every one of those objects. And that includes everything, even liquid. Now that means that you need not have a cup in which to hold liquid. And in fact, if liquid is in a cup, you can rather quickly pull the cup away and the liquid just stays. Now it does form itself into a sphere, kind of a vibrating, oscillating sphere, and the oscillations will gradually cease, and there remains a sphere of liquid. That is enormous fun, first of all, to watch. Secondly, to do some experiments with, and in fact, some of the experiments are not all that foolish. We can learn enormous numbers of new things about certain forces that act within bodies of fluid, forces called surface tension forces and internal forces in fluids. And there's no doubt that numbers of real official experiments will be done in those sorts of things in future years in the zero gravity of space.
Meal preparations was something that we all just took turns at. Generally took two of us to do it efficiently. One person is filling up the rehydratables, the vegetables, and the different things that needed water added to them. Another person would get them out, pass them over to the person who's rehydrating them, then fill up the food warmer. We, because of problems with our center of gravity being far forward, were limited on the amount of weight we could carry in the crew compartment, so we didn't have the fancy galley. We just had the little suitcase heater. It got to be quite an art to get that all full with the 5-person crew. The food is very good. You know, it's a traditional meat, a starch of some sort, and a vegetable.
We also carry a certain amount of junk food, peanuts and candy, and the sort of snacks that people who are working and don't want to take time to stop and eat a full meal can toss down. Not much fresh fruit or vegetables because of the storage requirements. We really have no refrigeration capability. The very best food that we had was some irradiated steaks. We don't carry very many of those. They're kind of a treat. We usually have a couple of kind of special meals so that if you do something real well or if something happens that's real good, you can celebrate.
We made it a very strict habit of everybody getting together for meals.
I don't think we're ready for
because it was a good time for us to talk about what we had done, what we were going to do, and use it as a tag-up time.
And Discovery, hope you enjoy your breakfast. We're going LOS Teachers. The cameras are yours. We'll see you at Yargity at 5-5.
Okay, Houston Discovery, you can have the KU band, and we're ready to copy the final NC3 burn pad.
Okay. And these will be Delta V's only. Delta V X plus 03.7. All balls, all balls.
Okay, that's plus 03.7. All balls for the NC3.
Houston, John Young was right. There shouldn't any problem seeing this, baby.
Mission Control, Houston, we're an hour and 51 minutes into the rendezvous phase. Payloads officers report that the controllers of the Palapa have turned that spacecraft off, and it is now configured and in position for retrieval.
And you'll all be pleased to hear that the Palapa is as bright as can be.
The Palapa is one of two Hughes-376 model satellites which will be retrieved on this mission. Both were launched on Shuttle Flight 41B back in February of this year. They were intended to go to geosynchronous orbit, and because of a failure of their solid rocket perigee kick motor, did not make it.
Okay, camera A has it in sight, but it's blooming it quite a bit if you want to tune in camera A.
Okay, thanks.
This rendezvous sequence actually began several days ago at launch as the shuttle was placed into orbit with the proper timing so that it would be in plane with the orbit of Palapa and within a fairly narrow window that would enable the course corrections and orbital adjustments to put it up this close to the satellite.
Okay, we're ready for EVA comm checks.
Roger, copy. We're standing by.
And Jerry, how do you copy us at hardline first here?
Okay, Dale, you're loud and clear. How me?
Same, and Joe and I are going to go over to A and B. Jerry, how do you copy me on hardline?
Loud and clear, Joe.
Okay, you're loud and clear this morning. Okay, 1 to A, 2 to B.
Okay, Joe, it sounds like your system may not be fully powered up yet. I got you, but you're very weak. How me?
Okay, it's probably warming up now. How do you copy now?
Much better now. Good check.
Houston Discovery, we're going to depress the airlock.
Roger, copy. And Discovery Houston have an action for David.
I'm listening. Go ahead, Jay.
Okay, Dave, we'd like to take O2 tanks 3 and 4, heaters A and B both to auto, please. That'll give us a little bit higher O2 pressures for the suits.
Mission Control, the airlock has been taken to vacuum, and the crew members are getting ready to egress into the payload bay.
And Houston Discovery, we're opening data hatch.
Roger, we copy.
So you got to unsnap all your straps and get your reel up there, your strap. Doing that. Holy smoke, look at that satellite. Oh, is this nice out here, Joseph? Okay, David, Dale's header line release and link strap are free.
Okay, good.
See the satellite, Dale? Oh, yeah. How are we smooth and steady? That's your job.
Have you ever wondered why we're here?
After the sun was born, a great deal of material was left over. Most of it settled into a disk around the young sun, a swirling jumble of matter, sometimes colliding and breaking up, sometimes sticking together. The first signs of young planets.
Scientist Heather Cooper takes us on a 6-part journey through space to find out what lies beyond the stars.
Achiever Award. Who'd have thought it a year ago? You see, I've been at NatWest for 20 years, quite happy when, I don't know, I started to feel that perhaps I needed something new, a change. Then someone suggested moving into pensions and life. Well, at first, the training was hard, I'll admit. Like being back at school. At my age. But I passed with flying colours, so to speak, and I was out on the road. And then, do you know what really stood me in good stead? It was my 20 years at the bank. I knew about people, you see. That's what I do now, really. Go out, meet people, sort out their problems. I've never looked back, never looked back. How NatWest changed my life. Never looked back. You could use that in one of your advertisements. Never looked back, never looked back.
You can see our Spec 77, can you not?
That's firm Discovery, Houston. For David, I have your new numbers.
Go ahead, Jerry.
2,000 to leave the FSS, 1,600 for translation, 1,100 for docking.
Yeah, look at the city. What? Sublimator's 2.4. Battery is 18.2 and 3.4. RPM's 20.4 on the CO2, temperature 69, and I'm 15.0 over 14.7.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh, wow, look at that satellite. Oh. You know, if the bottom were threaded, Rick could just drill it into the pallet. He wouldn't even cross-thread it. Captain Houck? Go ahead. Just bring it right on down here and I'll grab it. Don't say that. Someone on the ground will want you to do it.
Okay. For review, Joe and Dale. Dale, once you go, and we have a good sunrise, Rick will not need the RMS. It's going to head back down, and Joe is going to be getting the MFR ready for Bethel.
Sounds great.
And with the long daylight pass, we should be able to get it all done.
How's your cooling, Dale? Well, it's full hot and a little chilly. But it's okay. All right. Yeah, it's still going to tilt back towards the tail a little bit now, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay, David, let's see, we can run through that little checklist we have to do before heading out.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Read it to me.
Okay, one last check of the props.
You're all right where I told you there, 22 and 21.
Okay, you're good by that. Helmet lights are on. I can see them.
Roger that.
Toggle safety tip pin release.
It's full.
Right selector clockwise.
Just clockwise.
Give me a call for sat stab, otherwise I'll call you in a few seconds.
Since I've already pitched up, I'm going to start right out sat stab, David.
Okay, and get ready for visors. The sun's coming out.
Hey, David, I won't go until you tell me it's bright enough.
Okay, I'm going to get a little clue from Rick for that one.
Okay. No, I don't like to fly at night. Oh, look at that sun.
Houston Discovery, the sun is up and we're ready to go.
Roger, copy that, David. We're ready also.
Okay, Dale, you're clear to leave the bay.
Okay, checking CEAs are on. They are. I'm in sat stab.
Go towards the satellite just a little bit to clear the
You're clear me, Dale. You're fine.
You have got your visor, Dale, right?
Visor's down. Thank you.
Okay. Get towards your feet a little bit. You see the end effector on the arm?
Yeah, I got it all in view, Dave. I'm going to fly right between them here.
Okay. We'll keep you clear on your right.
Okay, I can see the arm on my right, so I can stay clear of it. No problem.
Okay. Okay, Joseph, you can start working your MFR stuff. And I'll talk to you.
Hey, I'm going to block your end effector camera for a second here as I go between you.
Okay. Dale, are you planning to yaw around?
That's affirmative.
Okay, you look super, incidentally.
Okay, and I'm going close to the end effector because I don't want to get too close to the satellite, okay?
You're doing good. You got about 14 feet, looks like, with the satellite.
You've got about 3 feet, no more than that, with the end effector down.
Yeah, I passed it.
Okay, I can't tell that so much.
Yeah, I waited till it was past my right 3 o'clock and gave it a few potatoes, and that made my maneuver.
Okay. Okay, it is just outside your field of view. You should see it out your left eye peripherally here shortly.
The end effector?
Yep.
Oh, I'm 12 feet behind it.
Okay, good.
No, it looks real nice. No problem. Looking real pretty. Oh, good. Now the orbiter's blocking the sun.
Okay, don't hesitate to advise me at the best view.
He's looking good. He's lining it up now. He's lining it up. You're looking good to me, Dale. Closing rate's real slow with it. There you go. Looks like about a tenth.
Call when he's in, Joe.
Think he's starting penetration. Looking good, Dale. Going for toggle. Hey, toggle, I got it.
Cycle gyro power.
Hey, cycle on. Well, I gave it a good knock. Hey, cycle on gyro power. It's off and back on. Start the torque. Go speed disc. So, yeah, it's just like you said. You done good, Dr. J. Just like you said, partner. Okay, now I'm torquing. I've got 1,300 and 1,200. Managed to sum up beautifully. Doesn't require any work. Look at that. I mean, it centers perfectly on that thing. Okay, I'm done speed discing. I'm going for the ratchet, David.
Okay.
Okay, the ratchet is broken over. I have hard docked. And Joe, I didn't even feel myself spin up. It was just like you said. Oh, Dave?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm standing by on the sat stab attitude hold call whenever you're ready.
Sat stab attitude hold marked.
Here it goes. It's firing. Boy, she stopped. How'd you like that?
Nice. But my no hands. Look at that.
Huh?
Look at that.
Hey, Dave, that stabilization took essentially no prop. My gauges didn't even move.
Okay, great. It looks super. I just waited till I saw your feet and called it.
That was good. What do you know? Even an NFO can do it.
You did great.
You've been having fun, Dale. Oh, are you finally coming up here to see me? Hey, Dave, I went to free drift here to save gas, so if you see me coming around in a good orientation, you can yell for that hold again.
You're getting better by the moment. Okay, Dale. in at hold, and then you may require another small pitch or a slight roll, but you're drifting into a good attitude.
Super. Oh, I can see him. I'm going to need a pitch down and a roll right, aren't I?
I agree.
Okay. Oh, boy, what a view. What's a view? How's my attitude, Dave?
Your attitude looks pretty good.
I think you're perfect.
Your feet are right towards the cabin. I can roll you a little bit, but there's no point.
No, I don't. Doesn't matter for me. It's for Joe.
So you're going to present it to him really nicely.
It's beautiful. I'm 1 foot away from the Omni, Dale.
Fantastic.
I'm going to touch the Omni now. I'm touching it.
Yeah, it's like one of the car.
I'm not putting too much.
Okay, I see where I'm going. I got it. I'm essentially using zero gas.
Okay, good.
Discovery, Houston.
Go ahead.
Roger, we're going LOS.
We're with you.
Listen to you over Yargity and talk to you at Guam at 1-2, couple notes. You're about to get
Watch the feet up here.
Yeah, I see him. I'm going for this corner of the FSS here.
Okay, I want an EMU status, big 4 from you guys when you get a chance.
Geez, we got to start doing them in darkness. We can't read these in daylight.
We can't read them, David.
I know, maybe I can. I got time EV is 304, 420 left, 59% power, 64% O2. I'm in good shape. That's Dale.
304. 418. 59% power. 75% O2. Joe.
Okay, good.
But what I'd like to do is rather than hit tool board 2 and try to get rid of 1 and all that right now, I have the power tool, which is all I need to soft dock it.
Okay.
I would like to go ahead and try to do that, and then if I get that on there, then I'll go ahead and get the other tool board on. Is that okay with you?
Yep, that sounds good. Good suggestion.
And I can always go back and get the old torque wrench when I need it.
Now, Anna, you're going to present the antenna in to me. I want to inspect it in a few minutes to see if there's a place I might tether to, in addition to holding on to the 4 bar.
Okay, I'll bring it over, and you just tell me where you want it.
Okay. Okay, I think there might be a place. The top end's going to have to go aft, and then the bottom end's going to have to rock towards me.
That's good, Dale.
Bring it to me. Bring it to me.
Joe, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You need to be real careful right here, and Dale, we're going to need your help. When he starts handling it, he's not going to be able to see it. You're going to have to help him keep that satellite off the MFR grapple fixture.
So I'm going to keep it down more athwartship than fore aft.
Okay, I just want to caution you that we've got to be really careful not to impale it on that MFR grapple fixture. I don't think you'll be able to see it once you have hold of it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Hey, Anna, I'm going to put, if you'll bring it in closer to me.
Okay, you like that angle?
Yeah, the angle's fine. I'm going to try to get a tether around that end, so I've got something to... Okay, well, hang on. Wow, I can put it around this end. That's the way to do it.
Okay, something right in there where I cut the empty off, Joe.
Hang on just a second. You're doing fine. Hang on just a second. Let me get my tether ready. Is it released?
It is now. Okay, you've got it.
Okay, now, Dale,
that, Joseph.
Better come this way, Joe. I'm helping you push it over there.
Okay. You got to bend back a little bit, Joseph, just a little bit.
I'm bending.
Okay. Now come right a little more.
Coming right. Okay, I'm going back into the PFR. I mean, the MFR. Okay, I'm just going to hold it.
Joseph, when you say you're holding it, you're bending down with it. So lean back. Dale, watch out. It's coming down towards that bracket again. That's going into the grapple fixture.
What?
Joseph, you have to lean back with it consciously because each time that you relax, it comes down into the bay.
Joe, let me tell you, you've got to kind of point it towards the port wing more. There you go. Because I'm not straight back from you. I'm over here in the middle of the bay, see? Okay. Let me get myself in here now.
Okay, very, very slow and gentle motions, Joseph.
Okay, Joseph, I've got the stinger. Hey, Joe, take it up out of the bay. I got the stinger in my hand.
Okay, Joseph. Up very slowly. Very slowly.
And just take it at some point where you can hold on to it for a while I still the stinger, okay? Okay. This is called, just take it up there and relax. We'll get it back in position for the adapter in a second. I got the old stinger in my little old hand. And I better tether it just a second. The old translate with a big object trick. Good show, Dale. Not there yet.
Okay, now take a little bit of a breather, why don't you, Dale? I don't want you to waste yourself.
I'm doing okay. Not near as hard work as it looks. Just floating around. Okay. Now a cap in hand.
Going to get an RMS spotlight to help you with illumination here. Anna's moved it down there for you. If you want it a particular place, tell her. She'll try and direct it.
We're doing good. A little more time here.
Dale, are you going to be able to get the adapter on from that position, do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, now don't let go of your end without telling me, because you gotta sort of kick it out, because I can't hold it.
Because I can pull the adapter back. I want to get it right down here where I don't have to play around with it too much. I can just snap it right on. Dave, is it lined up?
Yeah, it's pretty good now.
Hey, Joe, this is the time when you got to try to push down, okay? Just a minute, not yet. Now, let me give you a call. Okay. We are torquing.
Roger, we're looking over your shoulder off the RMS.
Okay, number 1, position indicator is down to flush. Beautiful. Going to number 5.
Now I can twist it however you want, Dale.
Okay, that's all it's going to go.
Right, you're moving it?
Yeah, and now I'm stopping it.
Okay.
Not only is Joe a great MMU flyer, but he's also a great satellite holder.
And the skipper wants to know how you like your steaks cooked.
Raw. So hungry right now, I could eat you there. Okay, number 8 is done. 153849, huh? What are the indicators doing? They're going flush as can be. Great. Just like you told me they would.
Mission Control, Houston, Discovery now about 50 feet from West Star.
Okay, I'm lined up pretty well behind it. I almost can't see it. I'm flying right into the sun. That hole. And I've got 1,000 pounds.
Okay, Joe, we're going to start a right yaw now, and that's going to be 180 degrees.
Okay, right yaw. Okay, we're about a minute to sunrise.
Oh, great. I could use the right. Let me tell you what's happened. I am now in the PFR. I have both tools on me. That's the torque wrench and the power tool.
Okay, super.
After having retrieved one from midair, this space,
I got the radio report.
And I am now leaning back. Houston, Discovery.
Go ahead, Discovery.
Roger, we have 2 satellites latched in the bay.
Just part of deorbit burn. You get strapped into your seats so that you don't float around. And you turn the shuttle around backwards, fire the deorbit engines. And it's probably about 15 minutes before the shuttle starts to bump up against all those molecules of the atmosphere. And until that happens, you're still in free fall. You're still in zero gravity. And the first time you notice that you've started to come back into the atmosphere and therefore a gravity field is that the pencil that you used to be able to let go of while you were doing something else and it would float there and wait for you, you let go of it and it floats towards the front of the shuttle because really the shuttle is being slowed down now and the pencil isn't, so it goes forward. And the first time that happens, on both flights I've been there, someone says, hey, look, we're picking up more than zero gravity now. And it's sort of a saying goodbye to that environment. You know that you are coming back in.
Velocity 989 feet per second, altitude 48,000 feet. Discovery now 25 nautical miles from touchdown. Discovery now entering the heading alignment circle, a 304-degree left overhead turn. Max G is 1.5 on the hack. Flight dynamics officer reports nominal energy. Equivalent airspeed now to 247 knots. Sonic booms just heard at the Kennedy Space Center. Velocity 732 feet per second, now about 30,000 feet. Range 16 nautical miles. Range now 14.4 nautical miles, 627 feet per second.
Okay, send winds now.
Surface winds 330 at 5, Rick.
Okay, thank you, Nick.
Discovery now at 21,000 feet, 11.5 nautical miles to touchdown. Airspeed holding steady at about 260 knots. Flight dynamics officer reports he's looking good, rolling onto the final. Now about 7 nautical miles to touchdown. Velocity 600 feet per second, now at 11,000 feet. 6 nautical miles to go.
Discovery Houston on glide slope on centerline.
Roger.
Now 4.6 nautical miles out. Airspeed 290 knots. 5,700 feet, 3.6 nautical miles. Now down to 4,700 feet, 3.1 nautical miles to go. now 1,100 feet, 1.4 nautical miles. Wheels are down. And locked. We have touchdown. Nose gear now coming down. Touchdown. Discovery now rolling out, runway 15 at Kennedy Space Center. After a 2.5 million mile service call, the crew of 51A is home. Just had a report that our entry time was 4 seconds off.